They say like the 4% rule, and they say the best way I've heard that described is saying it's a terrible rule but a brilliant guideline. And I think that's true. I personally prefer the rule of 375, which I took from a guy at Dimensional. And basically, the problem is with the 4% rule is no one has a single idea what they spend over a year. You don't have a clue. The rule of 300, if you times your monthly income by 300, that's basically the 4% rule. But what the rule of 375 does is it basically factors in taxation, because one of the things everyone does with the 4% rule is they assume that taxation and charges don't exist, and they do. So what 375 does is effectively factor in 20% inflation on the withdrawals.
So you're multiplying your monthly gross income by 375.
Yep.
And that gives you a total pot figure.
Correct.
And then you would draw 4% from that as
well, just remember, this is a savings guide, not a withdrawal strategy.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, okay, how much am I generally going to need? The best place to start, and this is what I would do with a client if they don't really follow their finances really closely, let's just start with the basics, which is, okay, how much money do you have left over? Really simple question. What do you get paid? How much money do you have left over?
It's like left over?
What is this?
What is this concept?
Yeah, exactly. Well, if that's the case, fine. But then obviously we need to factor in, especially if we're considering retirement planning, there may be things that don't exist in your retirement. You might have mortgages now that you're potentially going to have paid off. There's going to be other changes. But that's going to give you, if you think about what money is spare, minus the savings versus what you're getting in, that is a reasonable guide. Times that by 375. So just to give you an idea, that's $2,000 net would be 750,000. $3,000 would be 1,125,000. So it's going to be a really big, scary figure, is the truth. But that assumes that you're then going to never need to work a day in your life. And I believe that the structure of retirement for younger people is going to be completely different. Yeah. And I think that's, I hope that's an empowering message, because I think that does give opportunity. But I also do kind of want to really acknowledge when we're talking about this is everything I'm going to say is using my expertise as a planner. It is not going to be a solution to everyone's problems. I also acknowledge that a lot of people are genuinely in really difficult situation right now financially. I kind of hope that the things that we talk about are going to be useful, even just to think about as a framework. But I'm not suggesting at all that they're answers to everyone's problems.
This clip was from an interview with George Agan, financial advisor, all about how to build wealth. For the full interview, click here.